This morning, several people sent me an unsigned press statement from the previous or the immediate past NWC of our party, purporting to suspend me from the party. To give a background to what's been happening, the tenure of the immediate past NWC expired or elapsed on the 28th of last month, which was last Sunday. Prior to this, the former chairman, Chief Rafonsu, had sought an extension or an elongation of his tenure. He had reached me directly and indirectly pleading for us to extend his tenure. For those of you who might not know, Chief Rafonsu happens to be the longest serving chairman of a political party in the history of Nigeria, having held sway as the chairman of ADC for the last 17 years. You must understand that this is contrary to the provisions of the Constitution of ADC, which stipulates that a chairman can only hold office for 2 terms, maximum of 2 terms of 4 years each. For some reason, and for reasons best known to INEC, we don't know how Nwosu was able to hold on to that position for the last 17 years. When the chairman of the different state chapters made known to me that the tenure of this NWC was coming to an end and that Nwosu was seeking an illegal or backdoor extension, and that they were not in support of this, I told them that I, as the presidential candidate of this party, will do everything within my power to ensure that I uphold the Constitution. Beyond that, my party, the ADC, has been known in the past, or has had this dubious distinction as a party that traded the mandate of its candidates. In recent memory, we can remember the late Meliafa, who was the last presidential candidate of the party, and what happened to him when on election day the party chose to support another party, having traded his mandate. We saw that happen in so many elections that the party has held, where the party is always trading its candidates. And I've made it clear to them that under my watch as presidential candidate of this party, my mandate is not negotiable, and the mandate of any candidate in this party will not be negotiated. A newspaper, I won't mention, a news medium, reached out to me sometime last month asking me that they understand that we're in talks to negotiate with a party. And upon investigating, I found out that my party had started the same process of trying to negotiate. And I will tell you now what they did. When I was submitting the name of my vice presidential candidates, I had 24 hours to beat the deadline. I sent the name to the party, and on Friday, which was the last day to submit the name, I found out 2 hours to the deadline that the party was trying to substitute the name of my vice presidential candidate with the name of another person. When I found out, I called the national chairman to ask why this was being done. And he hung up the phone. He had no explanation. So I made clear to the party leadership that they dare not try to substitute that name. Eventually, my vice presidential candidate was forced to part with some money to people in the party before his name was submitted to INEC. A week later, this same chairman came to me on bended knees apologizing and saying that he made a mistake and people misled him. We had a meeting with the NWC here in my office. And in that meeting, I said to them that upon my return from my trip, I will announce the campaign council and the name of the campaign DG. I boarded a flight to Dubai that day. As I arrived in Dubai, I saw in the media that the same Rafonsu has announced a campaign DG without consulting me. This campaign DG is the same person he wanted to use as a vice presidential candidate. You will wonder why were they desperate to have a hold on me on the campaign. If you want to sell a candidate, if you have a vice presidential candidate, you can have him pull out at any minute and destroy that candidature. And that was why they wanted to do it that way. Seeing they could not do that, they wanted to hold on to my campaign and force a campaign DG on me. and I made it clear to them that that would never happen. So when this issue with the state chairman came up, and the state chairman started briefing me that they were not inclined to anything, any extension, and they would defend the constitution of the party. On one of those days, the Kogi state chairman had come to brief me and tell me what was happening. Whilst he was there, Rafonso also placed a call to him and telling him how he planned to negotiate, and when they decide who they were going to sell to or who they were going to reach an agreement with, they would let the state chairman know. So I heard this with my own ears, so it's not something I was now suspecting. I didn't send it to Rafonso, so he came to me. He's asked everyone to plead with me that I should give him 1 year extension. I said to him, that's absolutely out of the question. Sometime last week, 3 days to the expiration of his tenure, the state chairman asked for a NEC meeting, and emergency NEC meeting. In that NEC meeting, they were going to give him notice that on Sunday, Sunday date is non-negotiable. On that day, they got there for the NEC meeting and found out that Nwosu had hired some thugs to bar them from entering the party office. He had also hired some thugs to impersonate the state chairman and was trying to have a kangaroo emergency congress with the connivance of some INEC officials. The state chairman rushed to the FCT police command, and a deputy commissioner of police had to rush down there and put a stop to what was going on there. So Sunday came, 28 came, and the tenure of this NWC elapsed. As we speak, according to the constitution of our party, the highest decision-making body of that party is the NEC. And members of the NEC now are the state chairman and the only elected official in our party, who happens to be a House of Rep member from Kogi State, Honorable Leke. The NEC has decided that they will appoint an interim caretaker committee, and they intend to hold an elective convention within the next 2 months. Seeing that Nwosu and some members of the NWC, seeing that they were not able to extend their tenure, they decided that the best thing to do is to now destroy the party, which was why they sent out an unsigned press statement to members of the press today. Obviously, they can't sign the press statement knowing that they could be jailed for impersonation of forgery. So they sent that out to the media. The unsuspecting media, most of them used it without realizing that it was not signed. So this is what is going on within the party. I want to make very clear to members of the public and to my party faithful, under my watch as presidential candidate of this party will not enter into any alliance or any trading of the mandate of any member of this party. So those people who are in the habit of doing these deals in the party, or parties, small parties like mine, they should know that within this party it will never happen. A lot of candidates have reached out to me, pleading with me to protect their mandate, and I am letting them know that their mandate will be protected. Once we have our convention and have a new NWC, we expect that things will be done properly. I also want to let INEC know that I think it's very shameful that one individual can hold sway as chairman of a political party for 17 years. INEC has the constitution of every party in Nigeria. This individual never went to INEC meetings because he didn't want to be too visible so that people they'll pick up on this, but INEC should have known. When INEC sent someone to monitor the Kangaroo Congress and they backdated a notice to INEC didn't know that the NEC was not called by those people. The NEC was called by the state chairman. So they couldn't have backdated a notice to INEC because they didn't call for that meeting. So it's shameful that members, some few people in INEC, choose to sully or destroy the image of INEC and the good work that INEC is trying to do as we approach the 2023 convention. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, thank you. That's my piece.